i.e. what's really going on in Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Going to be taking a look at Stellar Lumen, XLM against US dollar Tether on the Binance chart. Going to be assessing some of the technical aspects of price action moving forward. Going to be taking a look at some of the key levels. We're going to be assessing where price action is going to be hopefully finding support moving forward, and if we can kind of continue the uptrend, or if we're going to be breaking downward and interacting with some lower levels that we've just come to. We're going to be seeing what EngineeringRobo thinks price action moving forward. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below what you think XLM is going to do. Do you hold XLM? Did you sell at one of these tops? Did you buy at one of these tops? What are you planning on doing with your bag if you have one? Jumping right into it, we're going to be assessing these kind of key levels here. So we have these kind of pumps upward after coming out of periods of accumulation. We got these over 100%, 162%, followed by days of sideways as we accumulate downward. XLM likes to accumulate, in a more bearish manner during these kind of sideways periods for whatever reason. After, before continuing upward, rather, we have, tens of days of kind of sideways before, continuing the uptrend. In this most recent price action from the swing high around 60 cents, we consolidated in a bearish manner all the way down toward 34 cents after finding support around 38 cents. After a good 40 days, like over a month of sideways, we rallied from this kind of 40 cent kind of support level around the kind of beginning of the month. We rallied a good 75% all the way up to a higher high in the swing high around kind of 69 cents there. We are currently still coming out of a big rejection, a good 47% pullback all the way back down to the 30 cent range there, like finding support at a sort of key level there, just under my 38% kind of support level. We've rallied kind of back up quite nicely. We've recovered quite nicely, and we're still 24% down from that swing high back in the middle of April, around 69 cents. And so with this, price action playing out the way it is, I suspect we can have kind of another retest downward as we kind of consolidate in a more kind of bearish manner, as price action does tend to kind of want to do that over the course of kind of tens of days, and we've been kind of consolidating downward for a good 20 days at this point. We could have perhaps another week or two of sideways if we continue to get kind of rejected, but I do suspect price action to kind of come downward and interact with this 48 cents kind of support level. 50 cents seems to be a psychological support that we can kind of hold moving forward. That'll be like really short-term bullish if we can kind of find support along that kind of round 50 cent kind of level there. We did get the rejection off of 57 cents. And so this could be a range that we could trade sideways in a very tight manner for. We have an example of a kind of tight sideways range between under kind of 43 cents and above kind of like 38 cents. And so that's like a solid range. That price, that's like it's an example of a solid kind of tight range that prices could trade within for tens of days moving forward. And so I mean, if we get rejected but find support along 48 cents, we could trade in a very kind of tight sideways manner for a period of days before rallying and continuing upwards. So I mean, overall, we are still kind of long-term bullish, but we are apparently still trapped in a phase of consolidation as we are interacting with resistance and printing what appears to be a kind of lower high rejection relative to a swing high in this like kind of middle of April, beginning of April rather. We got rejected off of 57 cents briefly, suggesting pretty significant resistance kind of above sort of above really 54 cents or ish kind of thing, like 55 cents, and supporting this kind of like 57 cents to kind of 60 cents resistance, giving us kind of a range of sell pressure, I believe, around here that we're going to have to kind of it's going to take perhaps a couple days to either kind of fly through or kind of push our way through healthily, but this does seem to be a kind of key zone of sell pressure that we're now kind of interacting with for a sort of third time. And so I do suspect us to kind of come down to my kind of support level around 48 cents in the kind of near future. When we consider EngineeringRobo along with these Fedonizzle lines, we can see the kind of key levels that I do believe we can kind of see support found in. And so this is 0.786 line around 55 cents, correlating nicely with my kind of sell range there, just above it. And so that kind of supports that resistance around that zone. We do have some nice kind of buy and sell suggestions present, and so I mean, when all these super sell 2, sell 3, sell 4 came into play as we got rejected from the dreaded FOMO zone for the second time, We had a strong bounce off of this 0.5 level around 35 cents and found support around 0.618 level there, around 43 cents. We've now rallied upward, and I've been able to print this early bird and super buy yet again. So that is a very bullish sign in the long term, in my opinion, and perhaps the short term if we do see prices closing kind of up in my kind of sell zone there. That will definitely lead us into the FOMO zone for the third time, and I do believe that will be another kind of pivotal moment for XLM. It could be a hard rejection or a skyrocket into the dollar to multi-dollar XLM from that point on. So I mean, with a sell 4 present, we still could see some kind of days of sideways, but this early bird and super buy is quite bullish still. So we are looking still good in the long term, in my opinion, for XLM. But we still could have some kind of sideways and some more pullbacks as we do kind of trade in this kind of tight zone of just under some sell pressure. But there is support not too far below it. Now, if we consider the price of XLM against the price of the almighty, ever so random, doesn't know what it can do, Bitcoin, we can see support found along these kind of key levels yet again with buy pressure above 753 Satoshi. This was a key kind of zone we were trapped in just above 667 Satoshi, and just under that 751 level there. We were bouncing up and down kind of thing, broke out of it, came up, printed a lower high relative to interaction with this kind of 1205 Satoshi level. We got rejected off of the 1098 Satoshi level, getting all the way down, back down to that 671 zone there, having a strong bounce, coming back up, printing what appears to be this lower high relative to the middle of April rejection around the 1089 level there. As we print this lower high, I do believe we can consolidate kind of downward and find support perhaps around this 845 Satoshi level there, and maybe perhaps wick down to my 755 support line. But I do see a local bottom occurring around kind of 845 Satoshi. When we consider EngineeringRobo, along with these Fibonacci zones of fettuccine, Lamborghini, mystical angles, and zucchinis, we can see we are still quite bullish long term as prices are closing above the 200 daily moving average. We have the buy 4 and moon and early bird still in play. We don't have the big scary sell signals present like we do in the USDT chart, and we also have these Fibonacci lines correlating nicely with my kind of zone that I was suggesting there. And so I mean, a local bottom around the 0.5 level does seem to be correlating with my kind of 850 Satoshi level that I was suspecting we could bottom out at. Resistance supporting that rejections back in the kind of middle of April around the 0.236 Fibonacci level, around 1069 Satoshi. I mean, if we start closing in a more short-term bullish manner, we can find support along this 0.382 line and kind of trade sideways to interact with the 0.236 again. But I don't suspect we will hold this in the kind of next couple of coming days. I do suspect we can come down to this 0.5, but we very well could hold. Interaction with the 0.236 will be another kind of pivotal level that we're going to have to break through before we can interact with the kind of final really significant resistance around the 1205 Satoshi level there. And so overall, we're still looking quite bullish long term for XLM, but we do seem to be in the midst of a bit of a rejection, short-term rejection still, and we could trade sideways over the next couple of days if we don't proceed to kind of skyrocket from where we are currently. So I mean, if we consider what's happening to Bitcoin, at the moment, we can see kind of a new perspective going on here. We have, if we let these Fibonacci lines play out, we have rejection off of 57K. We have prices failing to close above that kind of a support line, and not even getting up to my ascending trend line there. And so we were able to come all the way back down to the 54K, 55K level as support, which is what I was suspecting if we were to fail to hold 57K. And so we do seem to be strong, having a strong bounce still, and this kind of like stepping up pattern is kind of far more bullish and far more healthy in my opinion, and the more retracements and the more pullbacks we can get, the better, and the more healthier it is long term, because anything that goes straight up tends to come straight down. And so I mean, the more we can pull back and reaccumulate and retest support levels, the more bullish we can be. I would like to see a retest of the kind of high 40Ks again. I would love to see the low 50Ks again, some more sideways, perhaps confirm a W pattern kind of thing, if prices were to trade in this kind of manner. That would be ultra bullish, and that would be another great buying opportunity back in the kind of high 40Ks, low 50Ks again. Anything under 60K is a great buy in my opinion, as we're going to plow through 60K quite soon. obviously momentum could change. Anything could happen. The market could get manipulated by some crypto whales and billionaires. Elon Musk could decide to dump on us, and we could get rejected from a lower high around the low 64Ks or 63K, and that would be quite a mighty rejection in my opinion if we were to come all the way back up and get rejected off of that. I do believe we could for sure interact with the high 40s and low 50s again, as that would be a very strong rejection, and that would definitely affect new traders in the market moving forward, and would cause some fear, uncertainty, and doubt, in my opinion. But smart money will always be buying the dips and always be buying the lows, and there will always be there's never a bad time to buy Bitcoin. I mean, unless it's a absolute top. But you can never know when that even can occur. Somebody bought these tops. Somebody bought the all-time high. It happens. But it's never a bad time to buy. Watch out for changes in momentum. Watch out for buy and sell suggestions from EngineeringRobo. Try EngineeringRobo free with a link in the description. Subscribe here on YouTube. Try all the social media down below. And tune in for the next one.